Hey guys, Justin Russell with RussellMarineProducts.com here on the famous Mercury Lake X, going over some new product from MotorGuide. So we kind of have a trifecta of trolling motor war going on iCast for 2019. So pretty awesome to be able to be a part of this. Thankful for having you guys come down here actually and be able to get this thing on the water. I know you guys have been working on this a long time. Wanted to just go over some of the quick features about it on the trolling motors of the past that you guys developed versus this. Now this is a tour trolling motor here, so this is not anchor GPS feature. We're going to be going out on a boat on one of those here in a little bit and doing some more filming on that. But just want to go over some of the good old standard features, kind of getting back to the cable drive trolling motors, which you guys basically were famous for, right?
Right, absolutely.
So let's go over some of the features of this here. We got a 36 volt system,
Yes.
109 pound thrust.
Yep.
Sonar built into the front.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, so what are some of the features that you want to start with that you think sets you guys apart from what you've done in the past?
I think that the biggest area that we focused on, especially when you're looking at the traditional cable steer, was the mount of the bracket itself. You know, people have been using a pin and a slot for the past 30 years for trolling motors, and that can lead to wear issues. It causes you to step on the motor and have to pop the cable really hard to get it to release. So we looked at other technology and said, hey, what is out there that gets you a really stable lock and is really easy to release? And we looked at car doors. So we hired some engineers from the automotive industry, and they came on and developed us a latching system that has the lowest release efforts and the easiest to stow deploy of any system I've ever used. So legitimately, you can come up here, pick it up, and throw it overboard, and it falls right in. So this motor is equipped with, we call it a 0G lift assist system. So it uses a single nitrogen-filled gas shock to assist in both the stow and deploy of the motor. And then, like I said, so we have that latching technology in the stow latch and in the deployed latch. So you can come up here, grab the cable, and it's super easy again, just to pick the motor up, and it falls right into the stowed position, and it will stay there through any waves that you ever need. The other thing we did was we went back to a metal foot pedal. The original Tour was loved because it had a metal pedal. So we said, what can we do to make our cable steer the toughest cable steer motor on the market? So we went back to a metal pad on the pedal, and then the base of the pedal is plastic with a base plate. That's another big chunk of metal to help reinforce everything so that when you're steering, when you're under high thrust and going through weeds, it does not flex whatsoever. It's the most rigid, most solid steering motor that we've ever made.
Got a 360 breakaway mount up front.
Yep.
Red spring, by the way. Good choice.
That's
Love
right.
red. Love red. Good job. Good job on that. One of the things you were telling me about earlier I thought was pretty cool. So realistically, especially now, so you've got trolling motors coming out, you've got units that are running side imaging. On our side, on the retail side, we're seeing a lot more customers wanting to run, myself included, side imaging on the trolling motor. You guys are running an original, tried and true brushed motor that you guys have had for years. You got a huge platform to be able to mount external transducers, but the kind of important feature that I'm really a fan of, again, you've got the rotating shaft down at the bottom. You're not having the head rotate, but you were telling me you've got a system for mounting the transducer cable to kind of organize it, if you will, right?
Right, so you would attach the transducer to the lower unit in the typical way possible and then run it up the column how you would. The challenge was, well, how do we get sonar cables or hydrowave cables over the 360? There's a tapped hole on this side and on this side that in the accessory kit that comes with the motor, it'll include screws and a cable clamp so that you can run the motor, the sonar cable across the 360, and then depending on how you like it set up, you can either continue to zip tie it up the column and down the cables, or bring it down alongside the mount. And then once you get past the 360 housing, it'll come with a little plastic piece that snaps in and routes the cables perfectly, and it'll pop the cables out right in front of this little uprise on the side of the mount, so that, you know, minimizes zip ties but also keeps all the cables cleanly routed.
Now the main difference on the hardware side, you've got a couple different transducer options now built in that work with 3 different platforms of units that are already out there on the market. Yeah,
so we have, if you choose the transducer option for the Tour motor, it's going to come with we call it HD Plus Universal Sonar. So for 2D applications, it'll be compatible with Lowrance, Garmin, Raymarine, and Humminbird. And then we are down imaging compatible with Lowrance, Humminbird, and Garmin. So, you know, pick a Tour and then pick whatever electronics you want to run, and we'll be compatible with it.
Now, are you guys having a pigtail adapter that depends on the unit for that?
Yeah.
How does that actually tie into the unit itself?
So there'll be adapter cables for every major MFD out there. We output in a a MotorGuide style connector. So no matter what unit you're going to buy, you're going to also pick up an accessory cable to tie into it. So, you know, trying to make it so it's one adapter cable. No matter what unit, you can go from a MotorGuide connector, from a MotorGuide sonar to a Lowrance or whatever MFD you pick.
The important thing that I think that is really revolutionary about this setup here with this trolling motor, with having the 3 different brands out there, we've seen it with customers. We've had customers one year order Garmin, and then the next year they want Lowrance, or vice versa, or Hummingbird, or they move or get a different boat. The thing that I think is very important as a consumer, you know, once you buy a single trolling motor, if they determine the MotorGuide's their fit, they can change brands 2 or 3 years from now and not have to change the trolling motors from the standpoint of what's already built in, what do they have compatibility wise. Now you are going to offer on the Tour Pro, not this trolling motor, but the Tour Pro. You actually have the integration like you always have had with the Lowrance, correct?
Lowrance, Simrad, and then Mercury Vessel View. So if you opt for the glass dash option, you can control your trolling motor through the same interface that you can view your outboard electronics on.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
We just came out with that. I think it was last iCast we introduced that. So,
really? Interesting. Okay. Well, really cool here to see some innovation on you guys, especially when it comes to the mount. MotorGuide's always been known for the low profile, easy to see over, easy on boat covers. Standardized, you're coming out with 45-inch shafts to begin with, right?
Yes, correct.
When are you looking to have these available on the market for purchase?
So it looks like we will begin shipping these in December, so they should be in the stores late December or early January on the Tour model, and then on the Tour Pro, it'll be we'll start shipping them end of December, so mid-January, you'll be able to get the Tour Pro model.
So this is a 36-volt, 109-pound thrust, 45-inch shaft. Retail price point, this is going to be at $17.99.
Yeah, with the transducer.
With the okay, wow, okay. So that's built in with transducer. Last but not least, you guys have did a prop revision as well too. So you really engineered, minus the motor, right?
Yeah.
The motor's the same basically.
Yes.
But everything else.
Yeah, we say from prop to pedal is brand new.
Okay.
Yeah. So the new prop we have, it's called the Katana prop. We combined hydrofoil technology developed by NASA. And worked with the Mercury prop team, who makes arguably the best props in the industry.
It's nice to be able to have them at your disposal.
So, you know, with all these companies coming out with new lower units, we said, let's stick with what we know for right now and make the best prop out there. This prop, you know, I've put this prop through the thickest of a mat that you can go. And you still get, I mean, we say it's weedless, but you're still gonna get weeds on your motor. I mean, you're going through weeds, but you come out of that, you're still going 2 miles an hour with 50 pounds of weeds hanging off the front of your motor, but your prop is perfectly clean. It's unreal. So if you're comparing it to our current weedless prop, the Safari, this will give you at least 30% more thrust at a better efficiency. So, you know, that's why, you know, the X5 was marketed at 105 pounds of thrust. That's why we bumped it up to 109, is because of the gains with that propeller. So.
Gotcha, okay. Well, one of the things I noticed right off the bat, and as we were talking earlier before we started filming, the smoothness of full cable system. Kind of forgot about it, truth be told.
Absolutely.
It's still, I love my old Tour. I still have my old Tour unit. So to come back to this and see this, it brings back a lot of memories for me, but it's really neat to see a lot of new engineering going into this. I'm going to deploy this real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
That latch system's cool.
But
again, there's no sound. At all.
Yeah, I mean, for the shallow water guy who has power poles or talons on the back of his boat, a traditional cable steer is unreal. It's just butter. So what we did on that was, you know, kind of the industry norm with both an X5 and a 4-Trex was an 1 3/4 outer column, but that really, it doesn't give you enough space to put a really nice bearing in there. So we went to a 2-inch outer column that allowed us to put a really premium bearing in there. So like when you're on and off that button all day, it's not gonna knock, and it's gonna be super smooth, basically for the life of the product. It's an awesome bearing system that we went with.
One of the things I will say here before we wrap up that I noticed immediately, just like the old MotorGuide Tours, when you hit that button, that momentary button to turn it on, you've got the power.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Minn Kota used to have a slow ramp up, which I got used to, but I mean, it's still the MotorGuide.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
And it's always been that way. It's always had that setup there that people have really enjoyed. Again, I've really forgotten how smooth just that cable system really is, you know. So anyway, guys, getting ready to go out and do some filming on the Tour Pro, the one the majority of you guys are going to be interested in and checking out here, especially on some comparison stuff coming down the line. Be sure to check these other videos out. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Be sure to hit that bell on our YouTube channel to see other awesome videos just like this.